What if the most profound truths about your existence, your soul's purpose, its timeless journey, its boundless essence, were never meant to be found in ancient scrolls, sacred temples, or the teachings of enlightened masters? What if these truths are already within you, woven into the silent language of your being, pulsing in the quiet spaces of your heart, waiting for you to remember them? That strange pull towards something ancient, that unexplainable ache in your chest, that fleeting moment when you feel you've lived this exact scene before. Could these be your soul whispering a story that began long before this lifetime, stretching across countless lives, realms, and dimensions? Stay with us, because in the next few moments, you'll uncover why this sacred knowledge was buried, how it's been calling you through every breath, every dream, every unexplainable sensation, and why this very moment is your divine invitation to reclaim it, to awaken to the infinite truth of who you've always been, and to step boldly into the power of your soul's eternal story. The Akashic Records are not a physical archive hidden in some celestial vault, not a collection of dusty scrolls guarded by cloaked figures, nor a myth spun from the threads of human imagination. They are a living, pulsating field of energy, a vibrant, cosmic frequency that captures every thought, every emotion, every intention, and every choice your soul has ever made across the vast, spiraling tapestry of time. Known in ancient Sanskrit as Akasha, meaning ether, this field is the fifth element, the subtle essence from which all creation flows, the invisible substance that weaves together the seen and unseen, the material and the divine. It's not a distant concept or an esoteric secret reserved for mystics, seers, or the spiritually elite. It's as intimate as the rhythm of your breath, as immediate as the pulse of your heartbeat, as close as the quiet space behind your thoughts where truth hums softly. You felt its presence, those moments when a dream felt more vivid than your waking reality, when you met a stranger and felt an instant, unexplainable bond as if you've walked beside them for centuries, or when a place you've never visited stirred emotions so profound they brought tears you couldn't name. These are not accidents, not tricks of the mind, but sacred moments when the Akashic field brushes against your consciousness, whispering a single, eternal question. Do you remember? Across millennia, cultures around the world have recognized this field, naming it in their own sacred languages while pointing to the same timeless truth. In ancient Egypt, it was the halls of Amenti, a sacred space where souls journeyed between lives to review their paths, reflect on their lessons, and choose their next incarnation with intention. In Greece, philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato spoke of a soul memory, a realm where the soul pauses between lives to select its destiny, guided by the wisdom of its past. The Vedic seers of India called it Akasha, the ether that holds all vibration, memory, and possibility, a cosmic fabric where every deed, every dream, every whisper leaves an eternal imprint. The Gnostics revered it as the divine spark within, a fragment of the original mind that remembers all. The Sufis spoke of the preserved tablet, the Kabbalists of the Sefer HaHaim, a book written in divine fire. Indigenous traditions knew it as the Book of Space, the Anima Mundi, or the world's soul, a living intelligence that holds the memory of all existence. Despite the diversity of names, symbols, and stories, the essence was universal. The Akashic Records are a cosmic ledger, not of judgment or punishment, but of remembrance, preserving the eternal story of your soul. Not just the you of this life, but the infinite you, woven through countless existences across dimensions, timelines, and realms. Modern science is only now beginning to touch the edges of what the ancients accessed through direct experience, inner knowing, and sacred practice. Quantum physicists describe a zero-point field, a web of interconnected energy and information that links every particle, every moment, across the vastness of space and time. They speak of entangled particles communicating instantly across galaxies, of data stored in the quantum spin of atoms, of consciousness shaping outcomes in ways that defy linear logic. They're rediscovering what the mystics knew without telescopes or equations. Reality is not just matter but a tapestry of vibration, a field of intelligence where every thought, every act, leaves a ripple. Your soul has always been attuned to this frequency. It never needed laboratories or formulas to know the truth. The challenge is that you were taught to forget, conditioned to doubt the whispers of your own inner knowing, trained to look outward for answers, to books, authorities, systems, screens, instead of inward for remembrance. Your soul, however, has never lost its connection. It's been waiting for you to quiet the noise, to soften your heart, to listen with your whole being. Why was this knowledge buried? Because a soul that remembers its infinite nature, its sovereign power, its direct link to the divine, is a threat to any system built on control. Empires, religions, and institutions rooted in obedience couldn't afford for you to reclaim your inner authority, to realize that you don't need intermediaries to access the truth. They couldn't destroy the Akashic field. It's eternal, woven into the very fabric of reality, but they could obscure it. They burned libraries, like Alexandria's, which held scrolls of star maps, healing practices, and cosmic wisdom from civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria. Some say accidentally, others say deliberately. In China's Qin dynasty, metaphysical texts were outlawed, and scholars were executed. In the Americas, the sacred codices of the Maya were destroyed by conquistadors who labeled them demonic, leaving only 3 to survive. In 553 AD, the Council of Constantinople removed reincarnation from Christian doctrine, not for spiritual revelation but for political control, declaring past life memories heresy and punishing those who spoke of them. Intuition was mocked as superstition, dreams were dismissed as fantasies, and the sacred feminine, the receptive, feeling gateway to the records, was shamed, exiled, or burned as witchcraft. The act of remembering became dangerous, a rebellion against systems that thrived on amnesia. They didn't need to erase the records. They just needed to drown them in noise, notifications, deadlines, endless demands for your attention that keep you too busy, too distracted, too skeptical to listen. The Akashic Records don't require rituals, credentials, or permission to access. They respond to presence, stillness, and sincerity. This field isn't locked behind a gate or guarded by gatekeepers with golden scrolls. It's hidden beneath the chaos of modern life, waiting for you to pause, to breathe, to turn inward. When you slow your breath, quiet your mind, and soften your heart, the veil between you and the records thins, and the field begins to speak. It doesn't shout. It whispers, through your body, through sensation, through the subtle language of your soul. That shiver down your spine when you hear a profound truth, the tightness in your chest when you enter a sacred space like a temple or a forest, the sudden tears that come without reason. These are the records communicating, not in words but in vibration, in feeling, in resonance. Your nervous system is an oracle, decoding memories not just from this life but from the vast, multidimensional web of your soul's journey. That déjà vu that stops you in your tracks, that instant connection with a stranger that feels like a reunion, that skill you never studied but somehow mastered. These are fragments of the Akashic Records surfacing, inviting you to read the story you've been writing across lifetimes, across realms. Your body is the portal, the living scroll of your soul's history. Your spine is a staff of wisdom, aligned with the cosmos. Your breath is a bridge between worlds. Your heartbeat is a sacred drum, echoing the rhythm of countless lives. Your gut, often dismissed as mere instinct, is a divine compass, magnetic and electric, sensing truths your mind cannot yet grasp. Your DNA is not just biological. It's a resonant code, an antenna for higher knowing, carrying the potential of all you've been and all you're becoming. Scientists once called much of it junk, not understanding its role as a vessel for soul memory. The more you regulate your nervous system, not numbing it with distractions but listening to its signals, the clearer the Akashic field becomes. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's attunement, a sacred alignment with the frequency of remembrance. When you sit with sensation, when you honor the ache, the joy, the unexplainable knowing, you unlock a portal deeper than any external ceremony. The ancients knew this. The rishis of India entered samadhi, deep meditative states, to commune with the Akasha, their consciousness merging with the cosmic ether. Egyptian priests chanted sacred sounds to align their vibration with the field's frequency. Indigenous shamans journeyed through dreams and visions, guided by star ancestors and dream walkers, to retrieve its wisdom. They didn't seek knowledge. They remembered it, accessing the field through direct experience, through the body, through the heart. And now, so are you. This story isn't just yours. It's ours. A collective tapestry woven from the threads of all souls, across all time. The Akashic Records hold every war, every healing, every betrayal, every forgiveness, every heartbeat that has ever echoed through existence. When you access your records, you touch not only your own past but the echoes of your ancestors, the pain of lost civilizations, the unvoiced stories of those who were silenced through slavery, war, colonization, or erasure. That unexplainable fear that grips you without cause, that longing for a land you've never seen, that guilt that doesn't belong to your life. These are transmissions from the collective field, asking to be witnessed, healed, and released. Your life is not random. Your placement in this time, this body, this family is intentional. A sacred choice made by your soul to carry a frequency capable of remembering what others forgot. In remembering, you don't just liberate yourself. You shift the collective grid, healing wounds that echo across generations, rewriting the story for those who came before and those yet to come. This is the gift and the responsibility of the records. To see, to feel, to heal, not just for you but for the whole, to transform pain into power, silence into song. They tried to make you forget, flooding your life with distractions, screens flashing with notifications, schedules demanding your time, endless noise pulling you away from yourself. They praised productivity but punished presence, because in stillness the records become clear. The mystics knew this, and so do the soul readers emerging today. Ordinary people, nurses, artists, empaths, parents, children, who feel the stir of ancient knowing. They sense timelines, read patterns, and receive truths that transcend their own lives. They're not chosen. They're choosing to listen, to feel, to remember. You're not just a seeker. You're a rememberer, a soul reader awakening to your own inner temple. The gatekeepers of the records, your ancestors, your higher self, the fragments of your soul that remain awake across dimensions, aren't here to grant access but to guide you to remember it. They appear in dreams, in visions, in the quiet nod of recognition when a truth resonates deep in your bones. The field responds to resonance, not force. When your heart is open, your intention pure, and your presence sincere, the records unfold, revealing not just your story but the interconnected story of all souls, a tapestry of light, love, and eternal becoming. The Akashic field is alive in the spaces we overlook, the pause between your thoughts, the silence before you speak, the vibration beneath your name. It's in the way your body reacts to a sacred text, the way your skin tingles when a forgotten truth brushes close, the way your heart races when you realize you've been here before, not just in this life but across the infinite spiral of time. It's in the dreams that leave you breathless, as if you've returned from a journey to a place more real than this one. It's in the synchronicities that make you pause, a stranger's word, a song, a scent that unlocks a memory you didn't know you had. Every meditation, every moment in nature, every pause under the stars brings you closer. The records don't require you to be perfect, enlightened, or ordained. They ask only for your willingness to listen, to trust the whispers over the world's noise, to honor the sensations that logic cannot explain. This is why the rise of the soul reader is happening now, because the world is ready, and so are you. Nurses sensing a patient's unspoken pain, artists painting visions from lives they never lived, empaths feeling truths they can't explain, children speaking of places they've never been. These are the soul readers, ordinary people with extraordinary sensitivity, tuning into the Akasha without knowing its name. You're not just touching the records. You're rewriting them, not through effort but through embodiment, through living your life as the sacred text it was always meant to be. The records are not a destination. They're a relationship, a dance with the divine intelligence of the universe. They don't just hold your past. They hold your potential, the possibilities of who you're becoming. Every question you ask, every moment of stillness, every act of courage to trust your inner knowing is a step deeper into this relationship. The Akasha doesn't judge. It reflects, showing you the patterns of your soul, the agreements you made before this life, the lessons you chose to learn. Some were made in love, some in pain, but all were made with purpose. That recurring challenge, that persistent wound, that unshakable longing. They're not punishments. They're invitations to complete what was left unfinished, to heal what was broken, to remember what was forgotten. And in that remembrance, you don't just find answers. You find yourself whole, radiant, eternal. The questions that unlock the records are not casual curiosities but soul-deep longings. Why did I choose this life? What am I here to heal? What does my soul already know that I've forgotten? Ask with reverence, and the answers come, not as words but as sensations, as visions, as a quiet knowing that shifts your entire being. The Akashic Records are not lost. They're alive within you, pulsing in your breath, your dreams, your very essence. This moment is not a coincidence. It's a sacred call to awaken, to turn inward, to trust the ancient voice of your soul that has never stopped speaking. Your life is the portal. Every choice, every pain, every moment of wonder is a page in your eternal story. Don't let the noise of the world drown it out. Start now. Find stillness, ask what your soul longs to remember, and listen with your whole being. What stirred in you today? Share it in the comments below. Let your truth ripple outward to others on this path. Pass this message to someone who feels the same pull, someone ready to remember their own infinite story.